For ages, they have labored toward the completion of what they call the great work. The plan, it's also called. And they labored with man to help him to uncover what they call the light within himself. And on the pages of history, throughout the ages, they have left their seal, the seal of fire. Unhonored and unsung, they have labored, and now their lives are used as fairy stories to amuse children. And you've all taken your children to see these fairy stories, most of them put on the screen by Walt Disney. But the time will yet come when the world shall know the work they did, and I can assure you that's not far off unless you awaken from your slumber. And you must realize that our present civilization is raised upon the shoulders of these mighty demigods of the past. You see, we stand as Faust stood with all our lore, fools no wiser than before, because we refuse to take the truths of the world, walk out of fantasy land, and live our lives according to what is right and what is true. They want to be honored, these sons of the flame, not by words, but by so living that their sacrifice shall not be in vain. You see, they believe in salvation by works, not in salvation by faith. And I'm not making any judgments on their religion or upon yours, and I want you to understand it. I am a true constitutionalist. I believe that everyone has the right, protected by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, to worship at whatever altar they choose. I have no qualms with that. The problem I have with these people is that they lie, and they deceive, and they manipulate, and they have done so throughout history. And they are not the only ones, for the Christian church has done the same, and the Jewish rabbis have done the same, and nations and governments have done the same, and they do it because the people allow them to do it. For the people, for the most part, and this is absolutely true, no matter how angry you become upon hearing it, are nothing more than sheeple who never, ever use their brains. They look for someone else to tell them what is true and what is false, to tell them when to get up and when to go to bed. They look with envy upon the person who has elevated themselves to a position of ownership, who have, through sweat and labor and toil and study, started a business that has succeeded, and because they cannot or will not use their brains, they must work for this person, and so they hate him. Sheeple. In the mysteries, this phrase is used. A nation or world of people who will not use their intelligence are no better than animals who do not have intelligence. Such people are beasts of burden and stakes on the table by choice and consent, and you can take that to the bank. The initiates of the flame and their robes of glory have passed behind the veil. They have accumulated and hoarded knowledge, and they hide it from the public, and they justify their selfishness and their hoarding of the knowledge and the wisdom and the technology of the ages by stating, even though it is forbidden to mention the name of Jesus in the lodge, they quote him when it is to their benefit, stating, "Do not cast your pearls before swine." And that should give you some indication of what they think of you. And no matter what they think of themselves, or how they manage to fool themselves or the world, They are no more a fraternal organization existing for the good of the community than pigs wear bow ties and go to the prom. For anyone who practices the lies and deceit that these men do, have no morals, cannot have good intentions. For what they are building is based upon a lie, it is based upon deceit, it is based upon manipulation, and anything born of a lie is just a bigger lie, and has been throughout the history of the world. And in their deception, in their arrogance, they look upon the public as prey, and they, being beasts, feed lavishly upon the ignorance of the sheeple. If you want to know who they are, go down to your local Masonic lodge. Go down to the ancient Order of the Rosy Cross. Go down to the Order of St. John of Jerusalem. Nothing good is veiled in secrecy ever, for nothing good ever has to be. No one engaged in truth and goodness ever hides behind a lie. If you want to see who they are, watch who enters the portals of the Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission. Read the rolls of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Look to the bureaucrats who inhabit the halls of government in Washington, D.C. Look to the upper echelons of the military services of the United States of America, the colonels and generals who have sold this nation out to a new world order, a one-world totalitarian socialist government under the United Nations. And it is not a conspiracy. Don't call it a conspiracy. It is all out in the open, and it stands upon the ignorance, apathy, and stupidity of the American people. That is the foundation upon which the New World Order is built. Let us watch these mighty ones as they pass by. First, Orpheus playing upon the seven-stringed lyre of his own being, the music of the spheres. Then Hermes, the thrice greatest, with his emerald tablet of divine revelation. Through the shades of the past, we dimly see Krishna, the illuminated, who on the battlefield of life taught man the mysteries of his own soul. Then we see the sublime Buddha, his yellow robe not half so glorious as the heart it covered, and our own dear master, the man Jesus, his head surrounded with a halo of golden flame, and his brow serene with the calm of mastery. Then Mohammed, Zoroaster, Confucius, Odin, and Moses, and others no less worthy, pass by before the eyes of the student, the initiate. For in the mysteries they claim that these were the sons of flame. From the flame they came, and to the flame they have returned. To us they beckon and bid us in our robes of self-earned glory to join them and serve the flame they love. A direct quote. They say that these were without creed or clan, that they served but the one great ideal, the great work or the great plan. They claimed that Jesus was a member of a Gnostic sect, and that he is a fiction born of the mysteries. The wound in the side in the mysteries, or the wound in the thigh, are metaphors for castration, the severance of the genitals. It is represented in the mysteries when the candidate lies in the coffin, as George Bush did, naked in the crypt at Yale University, with a ribbon tied around his genitals, symbolizing the separation of the animal in man and the elevation of the intellect. The same with Parsifal. In the end of the tale, the search for the Holy Grail, after he had achieved his goal, after he had finally obtained the Grail, he lay in bed with a woman who tried her best to coax him into making love to her, and he said, "I cannot, for I have a wound in the side." In the mysteries, you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that in history the Holy Grail never existed until the tales sprang up with the bards of Europe from the halls of the Templars. And wandering minstrels sang these stories of this Holy Grail in the Celtic kingdoms. There was never any reference before that time of any Holy Grail. It comes from the mysteries. And in the search for the unification of the male, the masculine, and the feminine, since the man could not take within himself a woman, he emasculated himself to get rid of the male, and thus was said to be able to rise to great heights of wisdom and intellect and knowledge, and be able to prophesy and see into the future. The mystery of the spear with the 3 drops of blood, or the lance as it is called, followed by the woman or the maiden carrying a platter with 2 perfect stones, followed by the Grail cup containing a head surrounded by blood, is nothing more than the testicles and the penis of the castrated Fisher King. I have discovered the origin and the meaning of this myth, and I've just revealed it to you. You do not have to look any further. It was never Christ's cup that he drank out of at the Last Supper, although the Grail can be whatever those who seek it wish it to be. In the halls of those who invented it, and in the halls of those who sang its glories, it is and has always been what I have just revealed to you. A shallow, oblong dish. These were the sons of flame, seeking the brilliance of intellect, knowledge, gnosis. And at times in history, they would obtain it any way that they thought they could. I have always tried to show you this thread, this great thread of living fire that winds in and out through all religions and binds them together with a mutual ideal and mutual needs. In the story of the Grail and the legends of King Arthur, we find that thread wound around the table of the king in the temple of Mount Salvart. The same thread of life that passes through the roses of the Rosicrucians winds among the petals of the lotus and among the temple pillars of Luxor, and through the outer courtyard and the hidden depths of the Vatican. There is but one religion in all the world, known to all the priests of all the religions, no matter what they are, and that is the worship of the spiritual flame of the universe. Under many names he is known in all lands, but as Ishwari or Ammon or God or Lucifer, he is the same, the creator of the universe, and fire is his universal symbol. But if you are not of the priesthood, You are told many different things, and you believe many different things, none of them believed by the minister or the priest that stands upon the pulpit and preaches out at you the deception and the lies which cause you to put your additional tax in the coffers of the priesthood and to be manipulated by these lies repeatedly, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, down through the history, through the ages, through the centuries, through the millennium. The sheep are led to the pens where they are sheared and then led to the slaughterhouse where they are slaughtered. All the while watched over by a benevolent shepherd who is seen as a good, wonderful, necessary ingredient in this great cosmic comedy that it seems man will never come out of. And this is Mystery Babylon. These priests are the flame-born. They call themselves the sons of God. They believe that through their works they will become God, thrown out as sparks from the wheels of the infinite. And around the flame they have built forms which have hidden their light, the mysteries, the symbology, the veil. But as students or initiates, they are increasing the light of their religion by what you perceive to be love and service, until you shall again proclaim them the sons of the eternal, the shepherd kings, and you shall bleat as sheep and bow to them, and they will rule you, and they will guarantee you a job, and they will give you food, and they will entertain you, and they will create great circuses for your benefit, and they will shear you, and when it is necessary they will slaughter you, as they have done throughout the history of the world, all claiming that it is in the best interest of humanity. They claim that they are the true initiates of the universe, the ones with the only mature minds, those who have given all to the infinite in the name of the flame within, the God that dwells within them. And they want you to find that flame and also serve it. They want to destroy whatever religion you belong to. They want you to bow to this flame. And if you do not bow to this flame, they will consume you in it. They will burn you in this flame. And you had better awaken to this fact. And bear in mind that your religion, whatever it is no better or worse than theirs, for they are all born and conceived and practiced in lies and deception. All of them without exception. And you can call me anything that you wish. I belong to a small, very small group of men and women in this world who only want to know and live our lives by the truth, no matter what it is and no matter who it hurts or helps. And I have told you over and over and over again that I am a messenger. And no matter what you think of me, no matter whether you like me, whether you hate me, you had better heed my message, for unless mankind on an individual basis all over this world matures and becomes responsible and learns to pursue nothing but the truth, the same lies and deceptions and wars and murders and enslavements and thefts will continue into the future as far as you can imagine. And that is the legacy that you will leave to your children and their children, your progeny. Our forefathers set up this nation to give us a chance to be free and responsible and to make it work. They have not betrayed us. We have betrayed them. You can blame anybody you want for what is happening in this nation today or around the world. But I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, whoever you are, wherever you are, it is our collective faults and no one else's. No one else's. The hours may seem long, and the teachers cruel, but life is a schoolroom, and each of us must walk the path through that schoolroom, and Jesus Christ tried to teach us this, that the path is straight and narrow, and the gate is narrow. Straight is the way and narrow is the gate, he said, and few will ever make it through. Only those ready to go onward are those who have passed through this great school of life and who have learned something from it. Most people live each day of their life and learn nothing, absolutely nothing. They discuss nothing. They attribute great importance to nothing. They sit and watch television and ignore that which should mean the most to them. And they amount to nothing. And they create nothing. And indeed, because of all of this, they are nothing. Many people resent being confronted with truth in their life. But that's too bad. As long as you listen to this broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, you will get nothing but the closest thing to the truth that I can find in my life, and I will shove it down your throats until you either swallow it and begin to live by the truth, or I bury you with it. And those who practice the lies and deception that you fall into on a daily basis enslave you once again and take away any chance that you have ever had. And that is the ultimate truth with which you are faced today, this minute, this hour, and that above all else you had better understand. Good night, and God bless you all. And there will be no more Wacos in this country if I have to give my life to stop it. And if you care about anything in this entire universe, you had better be there with me.